Hey everyone, SW Nation here, and welcome back to a brand new WandaVision video here in the channel. Today I would like to stop and take the time to rank all 10 WandaVision characters, the main characters, ranked from the worst to the best. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list is certainly not the right list, it is just my list, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 10 characters from WandaVision, the main characters, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. Don't forget to check out that playlist up above for everything Marvel related that I have on my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. And with that being said, let's just get right into our ranking. Kicking off my list at number 9 for me has got to go to Ralph Bohner. Now, I know a lot of you guys are very happy about this because a lot of people hated Ralph Bohner. I personally like the character. Now, his name is not called Ralph Bohner, it's called Ralph Bonner. She just kind of pronounced it wrong. In my opinion, that's how I see it. But listen, I just thought that this was genius casting at its finest. Marvel has peak casting, and I love this casting. It worked for playing on Wanda's fantasy as well as her grief, and it makes total sense why it would be Evan Peters. I mean, listen, the fact that they even brought in Evan Peters to play Quicksilver, a version of Quicksilver at that, and how everyone went crazy about how X-Men were coming into the series, I for one did not believe that. You guys can go over there to the regular podcast. Every episode from episode 5 on, I debated heavily that X-Men are not coming into this. This is not X-Men Quicksilver. This is not even a real Quicksilver. This is an imposter. And turns out it was an imposter. I just thought that Ralph Bohner was an amazing twist and a very great red herring. Though he is last because, you know, after episode 6, he really does nothing. He was just fishing for information that episode, and he served his purpose well. This was excellent casting and also trolled many people, like I said, who are mad because they thought X-Men were coming. Coming in at number 8 for me has got to go to Billy and Tommy, the twins. They're only this low because essentially they're just there for, you know, Wanda and Vision. I mean, they're fine. I like the little kid actors. They're okay. They're not annoying. I found them to be pretty cute. But one of my big criticisms is that the kids did have powers, okay? Billy had the magical powers of Wanda, so Wiccan. Tommy had the speedster powers, so just like Quicksilver. But they barely got to use those powers. They had so much potential, but in the end, these twins ended up being a nice young Avengers tease for the fans. At number 7, I have Jimmy Woo. I loved his character inside of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and when they announced that he was coming inside of this series, I just could not wait to see him. Jimmy Woo in this series was just awesome for episode 4 through 6, that is. He also played a vital role and got in on the action as well. But after that, he just became a sidekick and kind of second fiddle to Monica and also Darcy. Woo is still hilarious, and his callbacks to Ant-Man and the Wasp was just a joy to see. When he pulled out his card like the magic trick from Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was the only moment inside of this entire show that I actually jumped up out of my seat for. Hopefully we get to see more of this fun character, and hopefully in more appearances he does a lot better and does a lot more. Coming in at number 6 for me has got to go to Darcy. Now, just like Jimmy Woo, she was very vital to the mission. I was never really a big fan of Darcy, but after this, I really can't wait to see more of her after this. She was a big player in this show with helping S.W.O.R.D. understand the mystery of the Hex and even naming the Hex itself. She did more inside of this 6-episode series than she ever did in the 2 Thor films she starred in. But I do wish that she did a lot more and had a lot more significance inside of the finale. Kicking off my top 5 list has got to go to Hayward. I never thought of Hayward as the bad guy. I mean, yeah, he was a big dick, but his actions were completely justified. And with what we know about superheroes, with Wanda and Spider-Man being framed, and also John Walker, Captain America, killing someone brutally with the shield, and especially with what they're saying inside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and what Zemo is saying about how superheroes shouldn't be allowed to exist, all of those different lines and stuff really connects to Hayward and makes him a lot more justified. Hayward is right to a certain extent. He is the embodiment of someone who lived through those 5 years when the whole world was just in chaos. But the finale threw all of that away and had him be the guy to break the Accords, make White Vision, and ultimately get sent to prison. Coming in at number 4 for me has got to go to Agatha. I loved her Agnes character. Catherine Hahn just managed to perfectly portray this nosy neighbor in every decade with just such gravitas. Obviously, we knew Agnes had a part to play inside of this series and inside of the world that Wanda created, but Catherine Hahn played this character in such a great way that made you feel like in some episodes, maybe she's not the villain. But once the whole Agatha song plays, it became very predictable from the start. And after that, she was just dumbed down to a typical underwhelming villain that felt rushed at the same time predictable, like I said. But I love the way how Agatha absorbs Wanda's powers and also her Salem witch trials. Even though I did think that was kind of like the worst things about that episode, I still love her Salem witch trials sequence, and also how she's telling Wanda that you're gonna need me and you don't know how powerful you are and you don't know what you have done. I found all of those teases with the Agatha character to be very interesting, but once she became Agatha, it just got too predictable, too rushed, and very formulaic to me. Kicking off my top 3 list for me has got to go to Monica Rambeau. I love Teyana Paris inside of this role. She is just such a beautiful, captivating actress, and I just thought that she was one of the best parts of this series. From the beginning of episode 4 with her undusting and that whole little sequence there, I knew that she was going to be a shining light inside of this series. With her character also being connected to Captain Marvel and at the end of the series also being connected to Spider-Man Far From Home, I found that to be a lot more enjoyable. She just feels like a good woman that wants to do great things, whether she has powers or not. But once she does get those powers, she does take a little step back from the spotlight. I did feel like her little power sequence thing was a little bit rushed, and we still don't fully understand her powers. I can't wait to see what they do with her inside of Captain Marvel 2, though. This series actually made me a little bit more excited for that. Another big criticism was that she felt a little bit too forgiving of Wanda by the end. Like that whole little talk that she had with Wanda about how the citizens of Westview won't understand the sacrifices that Wanda made for them. I'm like, lady, she mind controlled you and the people inside of town to think that they were inside of her fantasy. She locked children away from their parents. Arrest her. She's right there. Then again, who's really going to arrest Wanda Maximoff? If she doesn't want to go, she's not going to go. Those are just some negatives that come to mind. I love that she's just a kind, good-hearted person, which also kind of makes sense because she was snapped for those 5 years. And I love her little relationship between Hayward because they have a nice contrast. He was alive during those 5 years. He's a little bit more stoic. She was dead for those 5 years. So when she's coming back and she's seeing a character like this, and learning that her mother just passed away in between those 5 years, she's going to feel a little bit optimistic. And I just like the fact that they went that route with this character, and she feels a lot better than what they showed us inside of Captain Marvel. Granted, that was a child. My runner-up at number 2 has got to go to Vision. A big fear of mine going inside of this series was that Vision was going to be alive in the end. But I like the way that they did it with White Vision being alive and, Vision being just the illusion of Wanda, just the embodiment of Wanda. But I love this portrayal also. It's amazing to me how great Paul Bettany is inside of this role. I mean, obviously in the other movies he was great, but inside of this, he can play the husband, the father, the tortured, conflicted, confused AI robot, the cold AI robot in White Vision, and the warm, wholehearted person in that What Is Grief, If Not Love Persevering scene from episode 8. This series showed the most intellectual voice of reason from all of these movies and could have been the most blandest character with the greatest powers, but doesn't use them after Age of Ultron, become scared and show the most personality and humanity out of all of these characters. But coming in at my number 1 has got to go to Wanda Maximoff, obviously. I mean, from the start, we knew Wanda had done something bad. She had to be in control of something inside of this world. But man, is Elizabeth Olsen great as an actress. She can do it all. The decades housewife from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s. It all feels seamless and she plays them so well. The mother figure, the Scarlet Witch, all of that is great. And she also carries the heavy grief that comes with the character of Wanda Maximoff. And when she finally breaks down in episode 8, you feel it. You feel her life. The sheer tragedy that is Wanda Maximoff's life is so depressing and portrayed in a way that when Wanda is doing something bad, which she ultimately is, she's now the antagonist, You feel sorry for her because we have seen her pain, her grief, the tragedy grow from movie to movie that she appeared in for the 6 years she's been inside of this universe. Not counting Captain America and Winter Soldier, that is. I have nothing else to say about Wanda Maximoff because her entire life has been defined by tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And when you finally see her accept and embrace this new world where she created Vision, you can feel the heartbreak and the pain inside of her. I just think that Wanda, what they did with this character, even though she may be evil now, I still loved what they did with this character and tackling this sensitive topic about grief and what it means for a young woman with these type of abilities to deal with grief. This is why Wanda Maximoff has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 10 WandaVision characters. The main characters ranked from the worst to the best just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that playlist down in the description below where it has all of my Marvel content and also the WandaVision reviews on the regular podcast. Don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. Like, comment, and subscribe guys, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.